So here we are, we're in the basement of the new home. We are unboxing the equipment and going to set the furnace. The furnace is the foundation of the whole HVAC system. Where it is positioned is very critical, and so that's the first step we do. So walk with us as we unpack and lay out the job. Here we are, we're in the basement here with, got some of the material laid out, got the furnace drug over here to the area where we're generally going to put it. And step one, unbox the furnace and go from there. So we unboxed the furnace, and it's critical to walk around the furnace and to see the condition of the furnace. That's always important as an installer, that we try to encourage them to look around to see if there's anything from shipping, anything that's off, or any kind of damage to the furnace that they would notify us quickly, and so that we wouldn't further on and have problems. Also, there's really a neat thing I'd like to explain. We removed this furnace out of the box itself. And there's things in the box that is burnable or even throwaway, but they're very helpful on the job. And I'd like to just, maybe some of you installers out there that don't know this, we try to use everything that comes to the job, be very practical and efficient. So this here, as we unboxed it, this becomes a good workplace or a workbench. This will stay on the remaining of the job, and we'll take it out as a trash can. This will hold the trash and also serve as a workbench. On the sides, here, an opening here that it's a tradition in a sense. You can throw your trash in here, and when you're done, you move this whole container out. It's very efficient. But also, even inside some of the packing we use, and I'll show you something. These items here, they sit on the corner of the furnace, but when we cut into the furnace, being in a new home, really in any installation, we're going to lay this furnace on its side, and we don't want to get it scratched up. So these here are laid on the side, and you butt them up to the furnace like so. And when you do that, you're able to pull this furnace down. I'll just demonstrate this. Now we're not on the concrete, no scratches. We can cut into the side for the return. Okay, so next we're going to just kind of do a quick walkthrough to give you an idea of where we're setting the furnace and why we set the furnace, and the typical layout and obstacles that we try to avoid for the ductwork. That's very important, especially if a basement's going to be finished, and also so that our ductwork won't be in the way and make everything sync well with the plumber, the electrician. They are our friends, really, trust me. So we're going to set the furnace here. This is where we decided, and I actually talked with the homeowner, and it's good to always have questions throughout your installation of what are you guys going to do with the basement? What are you going to do with each room? Here we got a drain that's going to be usable for our furnace and for our air conditioner to drain. And so we'll set the furnace here. And then we're going to, we got a beam here. We're going to run this way with our ductwork. And we're going to follow this beam, and that kind of hides our ductwork and doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. So I'm going to run down the beam here, and actually we're going to run our supply and return air down the beam and over on this wall here, up here at the high point, and go. And then from there we branch out up inside the floor joist with our heat runs. We'll go out to our supply vents. Like one obstacle that we're going to have, that we're not going to, we made a change on the far end bedroom just to kind of give you an idea when we design things. They decided after the fact to install this safe. Come over here and I'll show you. Here's the door. This will be the door. The homeowner said instead of buying a whole bunch of fireproof boxes, gun safes and things, let's just make a whole area for it, concrete the walls, concrete the top, so if there's a fire or it's a complete safe place. And they got this vault door. If you look in here, There's no way to get ductwork in here. There's no way. We have literally a steel welded ceiling, and then it's all surrounded. So once we get the door on, he has to an equivalence of how many fire safety boxes and so on, and safety boxes, a lot. So it was a good idea for him, but we can't come in here with our ductwork, so we're going to have to put our one of our heat runs a little bit in an awkward place in the bedroom, but it's going to work, and we already talked about it. So we're upstairs, and we're going to do a walkthrough for laying out the ductwork, supplies, and returns in the areas that's going to be need conditioned, and the best place for thermostat location. So if you look here, we have more of a cathedral ceiling style, and this is the largest room, and this is where you want most of your heat runs and your primary return air ducts. Come over here, I'll show you where the thermostat is. Thermostats, we like to place them where it's not near to supply runs, where it can throw the thermostat off, or next to return areas where it also can do the same. So we try to find a good open area, and we decided to put one here. We actually marked it here on the wall for stat, so we know where to rough this in with our thermostat wire. So here we did already walk through and mark those out. We put our supply runs on an outside wall, and on these outside walls we try to get them somewhat center. So here we easy write and mark with the letter S for supply, so we can know where to cut them out. If someone else is working alongside with me, then we'll know what to do. And so we have an outside wall. The return air is more on the inside, so we look to the inside wall of where we're going to draw the conditioned air coming over here to the return to bring it back to the furnace. So here, if we look up on this interior wall, I marked with a letter R. Yeah, I know my handwriting. I did graduate, I really did. And I got an arrow pointing, so there'll be a return air grill right here in on this inside wall. One important thing I like to make mention: when you're doing bathrooms and you're doing kitchens, you do not want returns. And that is because of some of the returning, say if you're cooking, and some of that distributing through the house. And obviously for bathrooms, in which you would know yourself, it's not a good place to put a cold air return. But with that said, there's some really good options for installing supply vents. And we typically, if it's a smaller bathroom, like to put them in and underneath the vanity. Underneath the vanity, what we call a toe kick. So when they put in a sink here, that vanity, we come in at the bottom, under the bottom of it, of the foot of the platform of the vanity, and it'll come out at the bottom. So the register isn't actually on the ground. So possible water problems in a bathroom, it's really nice to get them tucked away so that water of any sort can't get down into them. So, and lastly, another neat and important thing is, in a kitchen, it's sometimes difficult to heat. Like I said, we're not going to have a cold air return, but we do need supply for a larger area, because anymore in these days we have open kitchens combined with the living area, and so you want a lot of proper air conditioning. We got heat loads like refrigerators, stoves, things we have to combat with, and a lot of people are now putting islands, more prevalent to put islands out here. And so what we do is put a toe kick down. When they have the island, we do the same as we would as a vanity, but we put them at the bottom and come out through the side. You come out of pretty much any side for a supply vent, in which that does allow for, once again, not having a dustpan in the middle of the room. Sometimes if you put vents where there's a lot of high traffic, it becomes a dustpan. That's what we call them. So we try to get things tucked away, hidden, and for future problems, for duct cleaning. Welcome everyone. We're back on the install job again on this new home, and we got the furnace set where we like it, and started doing the plenum and the ductwork. So just to kind of give you a small glimpse into laying the foundation here, the furnace, air cleaner here, filtering system, and then we have our first piece of trunk that's going to be for our cold air return. We built a plenum, which is here, and we started our supply duct going. And so this is kind of the beginning process. And so we're just kind of, as you go along, just kind of doing a little bit of a following up after yourself, any major fingerprints, things like that, just to encourage yourself and to know to the homeowner that you're not sloppy on the job. Okay, so there's different ways to put up a duct trunk line. We call it square duct. Some people call it rectangular duct. It's actually rectangular. But nevertheless, you go up, the section we have is this is an 8 by 20. These are S-locks, and these S-locks are what the new duct will sleeve into. You take it off, it looks like a letter S from the side. And so I'm just making sure those are on. We got to slide that on the next piece. Let me grab it. Well, when you're by yourself and you need an extra hand, we got these chains that straddle the floor joists that act as another set of hands and allow me to put up the trunk line. So they just squeeze, and the trunk can go through here and hang. And it's very efficient. They're adjustable. You can adjust them to the different height, what you need. I just sit it up on the lip there, get a little more closer. There's different ways you can put these in. It just depends on your mood, but you want to get it started in at the bottom a lot of times. And then once that sleeves in at the top on your S-lock, this will go together. Good time to show you something, so stay right there. If you have trouble pulling in the seam, this right here, this is a duct stretcher, and if it'll work out for us here, you kind of can do this, and that'll pull it together. You see that? And then now they're butted up together where you can put your drive on without beating up the duct and getting all stressed out about it. Oh, okay, here's our problem. It's not going in right there. There we go. There you have it. Okay. Move it. Needs to go that way a little bit. Then I set it straight again. What I like to do, I like that straightness, but a lot of times that gap there is driving crazy. I end up moving it back to make that duct tight. This is what I do. A lot of tabs. I think we got it. It looked pretty decently flush right there. It's going to tab them over. There's one right here. Okay. Oh, lever there. One more to go, and this one's there, home. Boom. So we're upstairs here in the part of where we roughed in the cold air returns and the supply vents Just wanted to give you a picture of what's inside of the wall. For some of you that don't know what's behind my drywall, where does my air really going and where is it coming from? So this is where it's coming. Your air is returning back to the furnace through what we call a cold air return system. The part of the ductwork that returns the air to the furnace. So here we have a wall cavities. We call them, these are studs. We got drywall on the front, drywall on the back. The air is pulled through from the furnace blower into the grill on your wall, down into the cavity, the wall stud, down here to where our cold air return duct will be attached or panned off to where it can return to the furnace. For an example, we would have a supply vent that would be on the outside wall here, an outside wall of this master bedroom. We have it nailed here, and this ties into the trunk line. This is what feeds the room that conditions it, whether if it's heat or AC season. And the cold air return starts, in a sense, if you look at the supply vent, it comes up and it has throws it out depending on the veins on your grill, but it throws it left and right, kind of in a sense blankets the wall and begins to draw the cold air return from the furnace fan, is drawing that over the objects and the people and taking up the unconditioned space and bringing it back, pulling it, and coming up to this here, cold air returns down into the cold air return, and thus repeating the cycle like a circle. So next we're going into the master closet, where we're going to decide and maybe even discuss on why we put it where we did. We put it right here. Why right here? Well, the homeowner, and it's very important to talk to them, what kind of system are you going to be hanging, where are your clothes going to be, what are your goals, and what are you going to do for a larger closet? Well, he decided they want to build a little bench out here to sit on, so he can, when they're changing their socks or whatever, they have a place to sit. And so lo and behold, we decided to put that here, and this will be enclosed with a little framing, and out the front is going to be another vent there, so it'll disperse out in the closet. The reason why we don't put them underneath the clothes, if they're not regularly changing their filter, but you are prone to more dust, and also the heat coming from the vents, and also if it's in air conditioning mode, you have the conditioning of clothes. It's not really good for clothing to have a vent underneath your clothes. So that's why we decided to put it here. It's important to know where to put them in a closet. Well, next we're going to find out with this walk around porch here. We got to figure out where we're going to vent the furnace and run the line set for the heat pump that's going to be set outside. So this long stretch here, we can't put the heat pump outside here because of the distance between underneath the decking to the top with the airflow. So, and also the venting, I don't like to vent. We like to get away from this if we can. So I'm going to walk down here and see, kind of maybe over this way, I can kind of visually point and show you where we're going to vent. So here we are on the outside of the house, where we determined already where we're going to vent the furnace and set the heat pump. We decided on the back side of the house here, first of all, it's going to not be an eyesore. It's going to be on the back side, and also because they have a wraparound deck here. This wraparound deck makes it, and it creates obstacles to where venting and setting the air conditioner just is not feasible. We decided to, as you're looking out here, it's a muddy mess for now, but we're going to pour a concrete pad to set the heat pump and pass the decking, and we're going to vent out here as well our furnace. So we got plenty of distance time, and everything's going to work out well, and the customer's happy. So that's what we're going to do. So a very popular question that is asked, can we heat a garage from the existing furnace? Your answer is no. Why? Because cars pull in here, people start their cars, or just that minimal amount of CO that comes from your vehicle, your exhaust fumes. What it does, it'll get pulled into your system, distributed through the house, and which creates a liability and also breaks code. And we know we like to keep code.